You gave us a whole hour of Priya and Brett. When Kyla are there and Aaron and Mary are there, but it's conversations about cheese that you want to be giving us. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing okay and everyone is doing well. As always, a lot to unpick and also unpack from that episode. So as I usually and I always say, number one, if you haven't yet subscribed, because I don't know how many times you want me to say this. But as I usually and I always like to say, please get cozy and comfortable with your Hurricane and your snacks, and I really hope you enjoyed the rest of this review. Alrighty, so let's start off with a follow-up of yesterday's episode. You guys already know that Priya did already voice to the girls that she doesn't feel like, you know, Brett is that interesting and she thinks he's boring and da-da-da-da. And my thing is, it's quite ironic, Priya, that these words are leaving your mouth because you are boring. It's honestly given a lack of self-awareness. Like, you're like,
oh, he's boring, he's not flirty, he's not fun.
You're not flirty and you're not fun. She was even complaining about, you know, the fact that I think he only likes a certain type of cheese, and she was like, you know, the smellier the better. That's boring. So of course Priya has very much been vocal to the girls alone, by the way. We're going to get into that later on. But she has made it very vocal to the girls that, oh, you know, I think I have the ick, I have the ick. First of all, what's quite interesting is whenever a girl has the ick, it's irreversible. I don't know any girl who has ever had the ick and that ick has managed to be reversed, unless it was through prayer. Honestly, there's nothing else that could actually reverse an ick. I don't know if boys get the ick, because I feel like ick is more of a girl thing, or girls say ick more than I hear boys say ick. I'm speaking as I'm thinking, but yeah, either way, it is quite interesting because of course she does have the ick for Brett, but I feel like the reasons why she has the ick isn't really icking because you are also boring as well. And also as well, I did mention this on Twitter, you guys know I do tweet Love Island as well. I felt like the way she handled the situation was just like, the way she just kept speaking so badly about Brett, like, oh, he's this and he's this and he's this and he's that, and it's just like, sis, you need to look in the mirror as well, because you are also beef or boring. So I need you to retract those words ASAP, because what you are describing is yourself. But what was also quite interesting was, on the other hand, Brett is speaking to Faye and Teddy, and he has the complete opposite mindset. He's literally just like,
oh, you know, I feel like our friends, like back home, like it seems like our friendship circles are getting quite well. I feel like things are going quite well.
I don't know who made Faye and Teddy relationship coach of the villa, because you guys definitely, okay, capital D, definitely have your own issues to be working through. It was quite interesting to see like the comparison between Priya and Brett. Like, she's there thinking it's completely over and he's there thinking, oh, you know what, I think this can also work on the outside. So yeah. Alrighty, so moving on to Liberty, Faye and Millie going for a chat. That was definitely given A for awkward. By the way, I don't know why I keep doing that. I keep saying the word and then the first letter of the word. I think it's just like my new thing. I'm thinking out loud and speaking out loud again. But anyway, I do feel like that conversation was 100% awkward. What was quite interesting was, I'm just going to be, should I say this? Yeah, I'm going to say this, because I try not to address weird comments, but it's like some of you are pushing me to address them and I don't have a choice. And some of you are even going to the extent of DMing me on Instagram, telling me that you don't agree with my opinion. And guys, it's fine. I don't present for Love Island. I literally tell you guys what happened in the show, and then I give you Sarah Destiny's opinion, okay? I made it very clear and I'm very vocal about it on this channel. I'm not a fan of Faye. It's been like that. It probably is even going to stay like that as well. These are my reviews and these are also my opinions and my thoughts. Like, stop trying to police what I want to say, or stop trying to alter the things that I'm saying. I very much know what I'm saying, and I have already made it very vocal that I am definitely not Team Faye. But what is quite interesting, and I also did mention it in yesterday's video as well, is that I do feel like she low-key does suffer from main character syndrome, and a lot of people actually do, where a situation can happen but for some reason they can only really understand like the impact that it has on them. And I feel like that was very much seen when they were speaking, and she was just like, oh, you know, I would never vote for certain people because I feel like certain people's connections are like definitely not like, you know, and certain people's connections are definitely just and it's just like, okay, Faye, every single person was in the same position that you and Teddy were in yesterday. If you guys get voted as least compatible, you get voted as least compatible. Like, let's nip it in the bud. And what was quite strange as well was because she's having this conversation with Liberty and Millie, but I'm pretty sure Liberty and Millie voted for you and Teddy as least compatible. And also, if you did pick up on it, you know, with Love Island, you have to be like very sharp with like facial expressions and like body language and stuff like that. Or maybe I'm just extra because I'm just a nerd like that. But anyway, I noticed very small things like this. And I feel like you can even see as they were sitting down and speaking, it's like Millie and Liberty were low-key, I don't want to say frightened of Faye. Like, what can she do? All she can do is shout with her lipstick. Honestly, it doesn't move me. But I do feel like you can see like from their body language and like how hesitant they are to like speak or, you know, maybe like give their own viewpoints regarding certain situations, that probably maybe the time that we saw Faye and Teddy argue wasn't actually the first time that she's argued in the villa, because you can see like it's low-key like the contestants are kind of scared of her or kind of scared to like voice their opinions. And please stop trying to shade me or correct me when I speak about Faye. I said what I said. So moving on to the morning, of course the girls go to the terrace and the boys go directly into the villa, and they're just having a little gisting session, updates, what's going on. Priya and Brett were low-key the star of today's show, which was quite disappointing because like I said, they're beef or boring. They're actually boring. But Priya was of course speaking to the girls and she was just like,
oh, like last night, you know, I didn't even cuddle him, like I didn't even kiss, like I just had the ick.
And on the other side with Brett, in all honesty, I was actually quite happy with the way the boys handled the situation. I feel like they were being very honest with him, which was actually quite nice because they didn't want him to just be blindsided in the villa. And what's quite interesting is, of course, Priya is gisting to the girls, but the girls are also gisting to their boyfriends, or not boyfriends, sorry, the people that they're in couples with. So I feel like it was actually quite interesting to see how the boys were kind of giving Brett advice like, oh, well, we've actually heard X, Y, Z, so we feel like you just need to know because we just don't want you to be completely out of the loop. And I thought that was actually quite nice because if the guys didn't tell him, will anyone have told him? I don't think so. So of course, man like Brett is on smoke, okay? Brett is definitely on smoke and he's just like, okay, well, that's weird, so I'm gonna pull you for a chat. So he ends up pulling Priya for a chat. And this is what I mean, like, on top of them being both boring as well, the thing is, if you're gonna have mouth, make sure you keep that energy, because it's like when Brett was speaking to you, all that energy had disappeared, disintegrated into thin air. Because was this really the same Priya that was speaking about Brett being boring and oh, not being fun and flirty? I don't think so. I was also very happy that Brett just came out with it like, okay, I'm hearing X, Y, Z, I don't like it, what exactly is going on? And Priya, like I said, was low-key stuttering, like, it's low-key like she was trying to sugarcoat the whole situation, like, oh no, like, not like that, I just meant like, you know, maybe we're just not as compatible as like we, oh, but you were telling everyone that wasn't fun and flirty, so be using those same words. So yeah, she ended up saying that she feels guilty and she ended up apologizing. Personally, I don't really care for the whole situation itself, but it did take up a lot of our hour today. But I low-key do feel like maybe Priya was trying to move like that to kind of like impress the girls, because it's like she's always ready to speak to the girls about it. But I don't feel like anyone in the villa like low-key cares about it like that. But yeah, I don't feel like Priya handled that whole situation well. She could have just pulled Brett to the side and been like, oh, you know what, I don't think we're compatible, but let's stay friends in the villa. But instead you wanted to be just in and I should hold that your lip. I should. So let's move on to the couples talking about their votes. First things first is just in with your man. Honestly, chef's kiss top tier. First people that were just kind of like speaking about their votes was Liberty and Jake. Second was Kaz and Tyler, and third was Millie and Liam. When Kaz and Tyler were just again, Faye once again was lingering around and she was doing the same thing that she'd done the night before, like, oh, you know, there's just certain people I'll just never vote for because, you know, it's all about real connections and it's all about, and I'm just thinking, Faye, relax, okay? Every single couple was in this same situation. Let it go. Like, it's low-key like she was trying to squeeze the information out of them, like, oh, who did you really vote for? It honestly just wasn't given, like, okay, we understand you won't vote for certain people because, okay, yeah, we heard you. Sister Faye, Joko, sit down, relax. We've heard you, like, it's actually okay. But what was also quite interesting, like I said, I do pick up on very, you know, sharp words and stuff like that. Millie did say if Faye was to find out, you know, like who really voted for her and stuff like that, it will definitely be World War II. And once again, I'm just thinking, why is Faye still allowed in this villa? For even her contestants to know that if she gets rubbed off the wrong way, there's going to be a war, there's going to be an issue. But like I said, I think that just reinforces what I said in the beginning already, that I do feel like quite a few of the islanders are afraid of her, and I don't feel like they should be because I don't really know what Faye can do. But I think it just goes to show that the first argument that they actually aired on TV with Teddy and Faye definitely wasn't the only argument that has happened in that villa. So back to Priya and Brett, because it's like the situation just wasn't ending. It's like Love Island were giving us a glimpse of other stuff and then Priya and Brett, and then glimpse of something else and then Priya and Brett. But anyway, Priya and Brett ended up having a friend-zoned conversation, and in all honesty, I feel like that convo was actually quite awkward. I feel like Priya was honestly trying to justify her reason for them not working in because of the cheese. Like, it's okay, like not everyone likes cheese. I like cheese personally, but it's okay, like not everyone likes cheese. Like, I think she said, oh, you know, I would really love like, you know, a cheese board and wine, and like you would just like, you know, like biscuit and coffee. And it's just like, okay, like it's really, I just honestly don't feel like it was that deep. But yeah, they ended up having a conversation, and what was quite interesting was after the friend zone, she said, let's take a selfie. After you friend zone me, we should take a selfie. Get this girl out. And lastly, let's move on to the vote. So as you guys know, in yesterday's episode, every single couple were given the opportunity to vote for two of their least two of the people, Sarah, what are you saying? I'm going to start that again. Every single couple were given the opportunity to vote for two couples in the villa that they felt were the least compatible, okay? That's exactly what I was trying to say. I don't really know what happened there. But of course, the couples ended up voting, and then the public were also given the opportunity to vote for their favourite couples out of the four that received the most votes as being the least compatible. So of course, we already knew who the least compatible were, but the islanders were finding out for the first time. Don't know why I've done that, but first couple announced was Priya and Brett, second was Aaron and Mary, third was Liberty and Jake, and fourth was Faye and Teddy. Faye low-key smiled when their name got called. It's given strange, guys. It's actually given strange. Like, you guys say, oh, you're hard on Faye, you're hard on Faye. Why does she do weird stuff like this? So then they ended up announcing the couples that were safe. First one being Mary and Aaron, and I was very happy to hear that because that was my vote. Yes, that's why guys, it's important to vote because your vote matters, all right? Your vote counts, all right? Never miss out on voting. It's a great opportunity. But yeah, Mary and Aaron ended up getting saved, and I felt like that made the most sense out of all the people that were voted as least compatible yesterday anyway. And I do feel like Love Island most certainly need to give them more screen time, because why wouldn't people think they're least compatible? We don't see them on our screen. We actually don't. So I'm very happy that they ended up being saved. Second people saved were Faye and Teddy, and guys, when I heard, I said, gosh, another week of Faye on our screens, another week of Faye on our screens. Wow. And the last couple that was saved were Liberty and Jake, which means that Priya and Brett were to go home. And to be honest, it was necessary. I'm actually not mad. I feel like either Priya and Brett should have gone home or Faye and Teddy should have gone home. But given the whole situation with Priya and like, oh, I feel like I've got the ick and blah, 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 and like, even confessing that just before the voting took place, yeah, Priya and Brett definitely did have to go home. So I feel like I was happy with those votes. Yeah. So before we do actually get into a glimpse of tomorrow's episode, can we quickly speak about Priya pulling Faye for a chat on the terrace? And this is what I mean, like, she actually just had to go, because who does that? Who does that? Just pack your bag and just leave, do your exit interview and make your way back to the UK, okay? Heathrow is very much awaiting. But Priya ended up pulling Faye to the terrace for the chat, and she was just like,
I just want to let you know that we did not vote for you. Like, we think you and Teddy are just absolutely amazing. Like, we just love you and Teddy. Like. And
I was just thinking, like, number one, what was the point of that conversation? Priya, let us know. What was the point of that conversation? Why did you need to have that conversation? Was that a ploy for the producers to try and get the public to see that Faye and Teddy are actually okay? Or was that just you being extra? What was the point? What was the actual reason? Even down to your last scene in the villa. This is what you're giving us, Priya. This is what you're giving us, even down to the last second that we'll see you again on ITV2 at 9 PM. It's this that you're giving us. Not giving at all. And like I said, the producers, stop trying to force Faye on us. We are not going to forget that episode. We won't. So those are my thoughts on that episode. Of course, we did already receive a glimpse into tomorrow's episode in which Faye is back, okay? Faye is actually back, but you can see that she's trying to tame herself with the anger because clearly she's on tag and they're definitely watching her. But Faye ends up having a conversation, not conversation, but she ends up confronting Jake, and she's just like, oh, you're fake, you're this, like, whether inside the video or outside the video, you're this, like, you're pissing me off. I'm just thinking, sis, relax. So yeah, guys, those are my, okay, I need to emphasize, those are my thoughts on that episode. As always, I'd love to hear you guys' comments down below. Let me know how you found the episode. Let me know how you found the review. Faye and Teddy, Liberty and Jake, Priya and Brett, like, who did you think should have gone home? Do you think Love Island made the right decision? So please do let me know in the comment section below. As always, if you haven't yet subscribed, of course, be sure to, and also be sure to follow me on my socials as well. But nonetheless, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Please do take care, and as always, I shall see you in our next one. Bye. I'm a